Hello everyone, today I'd like to talk to you about two fragrances that I got over the summer in August and haven't opened until now. Well, they are open, but I haven't used them, I haven't tried them. This is what I do sometimes. This is what we're going to do today. We're going to smell for the first time Attaquer Le Soleil and Clean Suede, both of them by État Libre d'Orange. So I would like to start with Attaquer Le Soleil because that one is the one I'm most curious about. Now this is supposed to be a solid note, just one note, and that is supposed to be labdanum. I'm sure you've heard this before. However, I do find that labdanum in itself is quite complex, so we'll see about that, just one note part. I'm expecting a lot of different, facets and complexity when it comes to this scent. At least this is what people say. Now, it comes across as very dusty, leathery, and very, very fresh, which is very nice to my nose, at least. This was done by Quentin Bish, and it came out in 2016. I have Fragrantica open right in front of my eyes. However, I would like to say that there is something about the way Quentin Bish does some fragrances in this, and I'm talking about that mineral something, that mineral facet, which I think is quite present in Ganymede also. There's something pertaining to a bit of maybe ash, something very dry, almost like gunpowder. It's very lovely. It's almost like dry cement or, dry earth before the rain, that petrichor thing, which is very, very nice. Now, sad to say, I was expecting me to recognize a lot more of the typical labdanum scent in this. Not to say that this isn't resinous. And also there is something to be said about my first impressions. This is how I think I'll do it for a long, long time. I'll give you my first impression of the scent and then I'll wear it, and if something spectacular happens, I will definitely return to that fragrance and tell you more. It's quite unexpected in terms of smell. It's something very camphorous and airy, and it smells mineral and resinous. And I guess that's it. It's quite, I was thinking maybe we should do a sort of battle royale between the two Marquis de Sade we have in or I guess the most famous two Marquis de Sade we have in the fragrance world, one being this one, and the other being, of course, 1740 by Histoire de Parfum, which, if you ask me, they're definitely both very interesting, but my relationship with 1740 goes a longer way, and I'm more familiar with that and its complexities, and that one's a labdanum scent as well, but the leather in that is very different. Maybe we'll do it sometime. Maybe we'll have a one-on-one comparison. The scents are not similar. I don't find them to be similar at all. Although I'm pretty sure both of them are labdanum, based scents. What I'm smelling here is definitely alluring. I was, however, expecting something a lot, darker, a lot more maybe gothic, a lot more candle wax, a lot more, I don't know. As it is, it's a beautiful scent. And you know what's going on now? It becomes gradually smokier, and it does darken, in fact. It does deepen and darken. I like the fact that it's a very, very dry composition. It is a very dry labdanum, which does remind me of L'air du désert marocain, which is another very dry, quite austere lab denim at first, but then it becomes gradually more vanillic, which is very interesting, and it has that going on for itself, which is, I think, very apt in a rather, amber-oriented scent. I'm talking about L'air du désert marocain, and this one, I have no idea where the progression might take us. Let's look at the notes, and the notes are just lab denim. Well, I'm not going to talk about lab denim. I'm sure most of you know what lab denim is. I'm not going to give you, details about people herding goats through the lab denim bushes and then scraping the resin. I'm sure you all know all of those by now. But lab denim is something I've yet to smell as a proper perfume ingredient. I do have some lab denim resin, which is, I think it's I'm sure it's supposed to depend on the dilution. What I have is just the resin undiluted, and that one is very sweetish, dark and leathery and quite opaque smelling and quite animalic. This one, I'm pretty sure this is a very diluted lab denim because it's quite fresh smelling. It is on the camphorous side of the resin, which is not bad at all. It's just interesting. The leathery aspect is there from the first spray, and it hasn't changed. By the way, the fragrance only darkened a bit and became a little bit more smoky. But apart from that, I don't think it's going to change all that much. There's also a bit of watery something, because it smells a bit like, it could be something in the realms of either cologne or sandalwood. Now, I know Quentin Bish said this was a uninote, it's just lab denim. However, I do have my doubts. I'm allowed to have my doubts. I haven't seen the process. I don't know how this fragrance was actually made, but I'm telling you, my nose senses something in the realm of either cologne or very acidic sandalwood, because it's something in the realm of almost like a pickle smell, which isn't bad. It's just, interesting, and it gives it a bit more, I guess, freshness to the composition. Or they all might be just facets of lab denim. I'm sure if I diluted that lab denim resin that I have, I might shed some light on how diluted lab denim might smell. But as it is, it's quite interesting, and I will have to let this settle. And now let's move on to another leather scent, and this one is Clean Suede, the reformulation or the repackaging of Tom of Finland, done by Antoine Lee. And this is supposed to be, a clean, soft leather, and I'm sure it is just that. The leather is very prominent. It's sweetish leather. It's almost like a fluffy iris sort of leather. It's quite beautiful. What I like about this composition is that it is indeed very clean and very fresh. The notes are aldehydes, lemon, birch, pine, pepper, suede, and vanilla. I was really focusing on the pine because also I get a lot of camphorous something in this as well. Let me tell you, it might be my brain, working in tandem, because I'm smelling two leather scents one after the other, but I'm pretty sure they do have some common grounds. While Attaquer Le Soleil is very dry and austere, this one is definitely sweeter and you know, a bit more lush. And I'm pretty sure the comparison between the two is helping me get a lot more sweetness from Clean Suede. Now, I haven't smelled the original Tom of Finland. As I said, these were both blind buys. I was very curious about both of them. But I think, as things stand, I think I like Clean Suede a bit more. I think it's... I was expecting Attaquer Le Soleil to be a bit more challenging, and it's really not, I think. And it's funny because I read somewhere, I don't remember where, might have been on Fragrantica, that Quentin Bish, or maybe was it Quentin Bish in relationship with someone? Oh, I'll have to double check. Quentin Bish said he doesn't like Labdanum or Etienne de Soir. Yeah, I think it was Etienne de Soir, the proprietor of the brand, who said he wanted a Labdanum scent because he doesn't like that. I'll have to making a botch of things, but it's something along the lines of person doing the fragrance said he doesn't like the labdanum as a note, as an ingredient, and it's something he forced himself in trying to work with it, which is so... I don't know how to feel about this. Labdanum is quite beautiful, and the scent turned out to be beautiful as well. Now, Clean Suede indeed has something clinical about this, almost like a sharp metal feeling, which, you know, might be the buckles on a swing, on a leather swing, if you know what I mean. Creates a sort of an image. It's dark, it's cool inducing, it's sort of the night. It's something I would definitely love to wear. And this one, oh yes, it's quite spicy, but it also feels, both of them feel like rather simple scents. And there's also this mineral something facet that is very familiar to me when I spoke about all the other fragrances done by Antoine Lee and that collection with the chemistry bottles, you know, Nube, right? Those bottles. I think all of them had that almost, you know, synthetic molecular mineral something, you know, all things aside, they do smell quite interesting and quite, I should say, avant-garde. It's definitely something I'm interested in. Now let's smell Attaquer Le Soleil one more time. Well, it's definitely camphorous, fresh, mineral, watery, and resinous. This is what it is. It's smoky, leathery, but fresh and windy. Does remind me quite a bit of Lèvres du Désert Marocain. It's maybe because of that labdanum, I don't know. Hasn't changed all that much. I'll have to give this a few wears, see maybe if I discover something else. But as it is, I think it's a beautiful scent. I'm not terribly impressed, but I will have to, you know, experiment with this further. Now this, unfortunately, Clean Suede hasn't settled all that much. But as it is, it's a beautiful scent. I'm sad that I cannot liken it to anything. I'm trying my best to liken it to something, although it does have a very, very familiar, you know, feeling to it. It's something I've definitely smelled before, but not in its entirety, maybe aspects of it. Definitely the same leather, a sweeter version of Dior Homme Eau de Toilette, without the vegetal elements, if that helps. It's definitely my kind of leather, my kind of suede. And the mineral aspects definitely help quite a lot. So, you know, I'll have to experiment with both of them, and I'll let you know if I find out anything more. But that was my first impressions on Attaquer Le Soleil and Clean Suede by État Libre d'Orange. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments, and until next time, remember, fragrance creates memories, and may yours be happy.